it depends on the
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
How are you doing? Good.
We're live. We're live on YouTube.
Oh, we are, eh?
We are live on YouTube.
Oh, good. Well, it's a beautiful morning here in
It is
Ontario
lovely,
Place.
lovely morning.
Great to see the folks out swimming and enjoying themselves, getting a little exercise.
That's right.
And a good crowd of people here who want this place to stay public.
That's right. Still having some issues over here with Ontario Place security. Is it? So Mike, do you have any insights on the federal environmental impact assessment?
Well, let's hope that the federal government's going to go through it. That's certainly something we've been supporting and asking for, but unfortunately I don't have any additional insight for you on that. I mean, we're pushing for Ontario Place to have assessment, Highway 413, as well as the efforts to pave over the green
We're
belt.
live.
Good, this is excellent.
Okay.
And we're talking about the green belt. There's a lot of issues here.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so let's get some water in that Nessie and whatever is faster. Can anyone help him fill that Nessie? Can we get some volunteers to help put some
Is there
water
like
in?
another, just a plastic bag or something is fine?
Hey Nuno, can you get your water jug to fill the Nessie? You know where you water the plants with?
What's that?
The water jug.
What is that?
Yes.
I have it.
Yeah, can you bring it? Because they need more water.
Yeah, okay, I'll get
Thank you.
some volunteers to help fill this Nessie.
Nuno's going to get the water jug.
Okay, so let's...
Okay, you got some dedicated volunteers here. They're even going.
Oh yeah, little cups.
Okay, so Mike.
Yes.
So Michael, we're honored to meet you.
Honored to meet you too. Thanks for inviting me to come down. Yeah.
And this is really important. What we're talking about here is really a matter of national security. Really, it's a matter of national security. Yeah, he's going to be doing an original.
I'm a big country music fan.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, love it. Very nice to
Okay.
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, so Mike, why don't you get started?
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Great.
All right, apologies for the slight delay just due to the weather. We're kind of thunderstorms and everything, but we're here. And first up, this is Mersivity-2023, a small group of friends. This is not an event, this is a symposium. And it's a small group of academics get together to change the world. So we believe in Mersivity, which is advancing technology for humanity and Earth. Advancing technology for humanity, earth, water, air, and the environment. So we care a lot about mersivity, which is if technology surrounds us, we should be able to surround it. If it immerses us, we should be able to immerse it. So for example, if you're building a spa, the spa should connect us to nature, not isolate us from nature. So if you have a VR headset in your living room, it's cutting you off from nature. It's keeping you out of the water. So a Mersivity headset is an underwater VR headset that allows you to get into the water and swim with it. So it brings us into nature. So we need to design more technologies that bring us into nature, not technologies that keep us away from nature. So Mersivity is technology that brings us to nature. And so if a spa were to exist, it would want to be like that one right over there. It did not require, that spa did not require $650 million of taxpayer money to build an underwater parking garage for like 2,000 cars or something like that. A parking garage beneath the lake level of Lake Ontario. Let's call it what it is. It's an underwater parking garage. And I know from building underwater technology with leaks and technology, it's a feat of engineering. It's like building a space station. Do we really want that or need that? Is that going to make the world greener and bluer? So let's welcome Mike here, who will help to put this all into perspective.
Great. Well, thank you, Steve, and great to see all of you here today. My name is Mike Schreiner. I'm the member of Provincial Parliament for Guelph and the leader of the Ontario Green Party. And I just want to take a moment to, thank you. I want to take a moment to just acknowledge and express my gratitude for the opportunity today to be meeting on the Treaty 13 lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and reaffirm the Ontario Green Party's commitment to the truth and reconciliation process as we dismantle the legacy of colonialism and systemic racism in our province and in our country. And I think one of the foundational pieces that we can learn from Indigenous teachings is the interconnectedness of nature and the need to be stewards of the land and the water, the creatures, the fish, the birds, the four-legged and the two-legged animals that all share this place together. And I think it's appropriate that we're having a conversation about the interconnectedness of people, planet, and technology at Ontario Place. Because right now, Ontario Place is really at the forefront of the resistance to the privatization of public spaces in this province. We currently have a provincial government that seems hell-bent, quite frankly, on privatizing our precious public spaces, whether it's the West Island here at Ontario Place or the People's Greenbelt that protects our farmland and our woodlands, rivers, wetlands that do so much to clean our drinking water and protect us, or even privatizing the places that care for us, such as our healthcare system. What's happening at Ontario Place is at the forefront of privatizing public space and public access, quite frankly, to the waterfront right here in Toronto. And I want to give a huge shout out to Ontario Place for All and other community organizations who have been coming together to say no to a pay-to-play private luxury spa on the West Island of Ontario Place. The people who are coming together to say, and I totally support, saying that we should cancel a 95-year lease to a private company on public space. We need a province that has a vision that this space remains public, accessible and affordable to the people of Ontario. In the same way that the East Island with Trillium Park has created such an amazing public space where people can access nature, families can affordably access nature. That was the original vision of Ontario Place, and I think that's the vision that the people of Ontario want for this space. I've been on this beach a number of times now, and I love seeing the folks swimming and accessing the lake because it's one of the cleanest places to swim and access water in the city of Toronto. And I know we have some folks here who can attest to that. I'm hoping you're going to speak after me. Oh, absolutely. To think that they want to move this beach over to where the sewage outlet is completely makes absolutely no sense when we think about public access to water. And if you think about what's happening right now this summer, we've seen the devastating wildfires creating such poor air quality and pollution here in the city of Toronto and across the eastern seaboard here in North America. We've seen the devastating floods. We've experienced the devastating heat and the health impacts that has on people. And at this particular moment in time, now more than ever, we need to ensure that urban spaces have access to nature, because that access to nature is going to be critically important for our ability to withstand global heating. Having access to this water to cool off, having access to spaces like the Glade that cleans our air and creates effects that resist the heat island effect that you see in urban areas. You think of the fast-growing Liberty Village, Parkdale, the neighborhoods in this region. Those families need affordable access to green space for their own personal health, their mental well-being, and the ability of these communities to be prepared for the climate emergency that is here today. And so I want to say thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart who are speaking up and bringing facts, figures, and technical expertise to the fight to maintain public access to public space. But I also want to say that the Green Party, I know the NDP and Liberals, I think all the opposition parties, so I want to make this nonpartisan, are united in us standing with you in fighting to keep this space public, accessible, and affordable for the people of Ontario. And I want to close by saying that the expertise that you're going to talk about today is so vitally important to telling the story of why it is so critically important to protect public spaces like Ontario Place, the Greenbelt, and other places. But I also want to say that I think it's important that we not only talk about the facts and figures, but we also talk about the values that underline public space. And right now we're facing a climate crisis, but I think we're also facing a crisis of caring. A crisis of caring for each other and the planet that protects us. And so as we talk about and tell the stories of why it is so important to protect this place, let's remember the values that come from Indigenous teachings about caring for each other and the world around us, and to celebrate and highlight the interconnectedness of people, nature, and technology, and how that can enhance well-being instead of privatizing the spaces that we all want to access and I believe have a right to access. So keep up the fight, here with you, and thank you for inviting me to be here with you today.
Mike, thank you so much. And as a token of our appreciation, Mike, I want to give you something that you'll remember this by. This is a picture I took from out on the water there of the island. Here we have 850 mature trees that you can see in the background that are under threat of being chopped down in order to make a private spa that would pave over this beach. And the official Ontario Place says there is no beach. Janet Gates said there is no beach. She's the CEO of Ontario Place. She said there is no beach at Ontario Place. Don't call it a beach. And so the idea, the narrative, or is it called malinformation or misinformation? I don't know. But the narrative that's being rammed down our throats is that there is no beach now, and if we spend $850 million of taxpayer money to bring in a foreign company to build something, they'll build a beach for us, which should be right over next to the sewer there, beside the Gardiner Expressway with all the rubber dust and tire dust and the strong west winds. Maybe they'll put a break wall there to break off the strong winds, but then it'll trap the sewage behind there just like Sunnyside. It'll stink like Sunnyside. So we don't want that. We want a south-facing beach into clean water, the cleanest water in all of Toronto right now, and downtown Toronto's only beach, and it's a pebble beach designed by Michael Hoff 52 years ago with zero maintenance, zero care, and yet it stayed 52 years, this beautiful beach. So thank you. Okay, so next up, we have Keith Rich. Next up, Keith Rich performing an original song, I Love You.
Thank you, Steve, man, for this opportunity. Just want to say right now that I'm in support of Swim Off and the Ontario Place. Let's keep it clean, let's keep it green. Love all of you. You don't love me the way I love you. You were the sweetest girl that I knew, and I shouldn't love you, but baby, I do. You were the sweetest girl that I knew. Spend all my time dreaming of you. When I awake, dear, I still don't have you. 'Cause you don't love me the way I love you. You were the sweetest girl that I knew. Thank you. Have a great day at the beach.
Yes, that was absolutely fantastic. That was really good. Thank you so much, Keith, for that wonderful performance. So, yeah, next up, actually, can you bring up the program? Perry, maybe on your other phone you can bring up the program. So, I designed the website on GitLab, just using a text editor, so it's a really simple website, and it's Mersivity.com. And so now, under people, so I want to thank all the great people who've helped here. Yu Yuan is the president of the IEEE Standards Association, the largest, IEEE's largest technical society in the world, settles standards like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And what we're doing is putting Mersivity into this idea, advancing technology for humanity and Earth. That's our objective. So, yeah, Charles Risher. Well, let's welcome Charles Risher. Charles is the yachting director of the Boulevard Yacht Club, and he's going to speak on water as a form of public space. Water is essential to public space, and water access is essential to public space. It's a requirement. We need access to water. It's very fundamental to us. So Charles Risher, or affectionately known as Charlie, big round of applause for Charlie.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Keith, for the unbelievable music. Thanks, Mike. I know Mike's time is very valuable. As Steve said, my name's Charles Risher, and I live in Parkdale since I moved here from Montreal. I am an active member in the community as far as using the water. Sailing is my background. I am sort of the head of Sail Canada's instructor development portfolio. So I work with young kids all across the country, helping them develop a real appreciation for the water and a connection to the natural world. And I'm here today not only on behalf of the Boulevard Club, but all the clubs who make up the West End Beaches Stakeholders Association. And the Websa Group came together in 2005 to advocate for, well, we can't quite see it from here, but around the corner at the Marilyn Bell Park. There was an augmentation done to the break wall in 2005. And from Toronto Adventures, who are a community group up the Humber, to Sunnyside Paddling Club, ourselves at the Boulevard Club, Toronto Sailing and Canoe Club, the Argonaut Rowing Club, all the way over to National Yacht Club. We got our community groups and community partners together to advocate for cleaner and safer access for the citizens of Toronto, especially Parkdale, Hyde Park, and our immediate area. Mike spoke about how Liberty Village has grown so much. Mimico, you can see it looks like a New York skyline over there. When I was a kid, there was 1 or 2 buildings, and there is a real urgency for places like the Michael Huff Beach to be protected and to be maintained and to be celebrated. So I'm really honored that Steve asked us to come speak today. I know Sharon Purdy, who's with me from our WEBSA organization, is an avid swimmer here at the beach. The reason why I wanted to focus on speaking about access to the water was just to sort of remind you how important it is for all of us. The protection and conservation of the natural world is a responsibility that we all have to share. And I'm really happy to be here to help build our community and create some meaningful change that will protect the valuable resource, which is Lake Ontario, but to today's function, the public space at Ontario Place, which in its nascent form was built as a spot to celebrate our province, to bring Ontarians together and give them space to educate and recreate themselves. And it would be an absolute travesty to see that lost. The water here that you swim in, the water that we all enjoy in the western beaches and Humber Bay, it's the water that we drink. Our entire city drinks this water. It's a magical place where I often say this to the kids who work with me. It's a magical place where Canadians, for lack of a better term, can do Canadian stuff. We can swim, we can sail, we can paddle, we can enjoy being at the edges of the water, and these are essential elements to connect us with the natural world. And I urge any of you, to come down here to Michael Huff Beach or to Sunnyside Park, where we are located, on a weekend, and just see how many people flock to the Western Beach and how important and integral this is to people's well-being, happiness, their mental health, vitality. A lot of the things that were very accented during COVID-19 and the pandemic, we really needed to see spaces like this available to our community so that we could all engage in a reflective state with the natural world and really enjoy health, wellness, and well-being. I will share a bunch of information with Steve, and I'll connect Steve with our Humber Bay for All project. The Humber Bay Naturalization and Recreation Plan is another vision for what could happen from Ontario Place to the Humber, much like the Leslie Street Spit, which has been naturalized and is now home to migratory birds, fish population. We would really, really love to see something meaningful done in this end of the lake that gives back to the natural world and can help restore the water quality in the lake. There's social, economic, and environmental factors. I know that Steve has brought this great group of people here today. We've spent the last few years lobbying all 3 levels of government, meeting with with the Therme group, meeting with Swim, Drink, Fish, you can see behind me. There's a couple of people who we have started testing water with at our Western Beaches locations. If you're not familiar with Swim, Drink, Fish, Megan and Charlotte are doing water testing here twice a week. Big round of applause. I really want to compliment Mark Matson and his organization. Mark is the Lake Ontario Waterkeeper, and the reason why the WEBSA group and our clubs that are stewards for the lake here wanted to get involved with Mark and his organization is that Mark wants Swim, Drink, Fish to be data-driven. They really want community science to grow in this part of Toronto. It's one of the great ways to engage youth I have 20 teenagers who'd come down every Tuesday, and we do extensive water testing and educational pieces about our environment. I can't say enough about the importance of the work that they're doing here to monitor the beaches in the West End. As Steve alluded to earlier, Sunnyside Beach will never be a blue flag beach in its current state, with the break wall that's too close to the shore, the pollution, and just gets trapped. That's the plume of the Humber River, and it's really sad because so many Torontonians could be recreating and swimming and celebrating the weekends with their families in that space if we had swimmable, drinkable, fishable water. And that's why we're really happy to support Megan and Charlotte in their endeavors. As all of you know, the importance of community engagement is a big part of this. We really see some synergies with the province. I know that Mike, Olivia Chow's government, Councillor Gord Perks, who's a wonderful ally of ours at WEBSA, Councillor Perks is helping us try to find a way forward for a greener, more sustainable Western Beach that guarantees access for all of the people in our community. I don't want to go into too much more detail because I've taken a lot of time, but I really wanted to just remind people that we have sort of 4 big buckets we work with. We try to create, provide programming to the community that connects people to water. We try to develop opportunities for outdoor and experiential education for youth. And I think, again, Ontario Place, to the history of the Carrying Place Trail at the Humber River, is a phenomenal educational opportunity for all kids in all parts of the school curriculum. We engage in community science, as we mentioned, and the importance of a day like today is sharing information with like-minded people in our community. I had a whole bunch of other stuff here, but I just want to say to people, I started my career as a teacher, and when I was training at U of T, I first met and learned about Steve and all the phenomenal work that he does. Being here in the Parkdale community, which has traditionally been one of Canada's most ethnically diverse, densely populated parts of the country, really opened my eyes to what we need and how we need to help all Canadians access the water and, again, be stewards for the water. So, as a representative of our WEBSA group, I really wanted to thank everybody here who's supporting environmental stewardship and access and advocating for safe access. As swimmers and sailors and rowers and paddlers, we see ourselves as natural stewards for the lake. Our sports and activities teach resilience and dealing with adversity and observing changing conditions. So like you, we're on the water every day, we're stewards for water quality, and we observe daily the impacts of climate change. But we are also optimistic that through that stewardship and due diligence, we will be able to improve and support the environment here, especially at Ontario Place to the Western Beach. And thank you very much for your time.
Okay, yeah, so as long as you're at the most western point, you will find...
That was wonderful. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll hang this up in my office. Hang this up for all our campers to see.
Okay, we're here at the beach.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay,
Words are gorgeous.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate it.
okay, Margie's here, and this is my number, so if you have any problems, just call me and I'll answer the phone, okay? Because we're recording on Steve's.
Thank you, Charlotte. Anita, Anita is here with her son as well, too. You want to say a few words about making the jewelry? Just briefly. Just show. Anita's a regular here at the beach.
Hi, I'm the neighbor. I live maybe 20 minutes walk, and we moved all the way from Montreal, and we discovered this beach, and the first time we came here and we just can't stop coming back. I'm here literally every day, even if I come for 30 minutes. And so one day my son, he found a copper wire, and I took a pliers and I tried to make a jewelry, and I brought a couple of samples if you want to just take a look. And yeah, it's just something that we do, and it's a beautiful place to be. Hoping that it's gonna stay for us and make people happy. That's it.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Actually, Terrace, do you want to say a few words? Anyone from the Terrace Club? Who else wants to say a few words? Who else is on the speaking? We're kind of a little bit disorganized because the weather has thrown us into a little bit of confusion. But yeah, maybe you want to say a few words. Excellent. An announcement and an event.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Should I stand on this?
Actually, yeah, if you want to stand on that, or I can adjust the height for you. What I can do is I can adjust it.
Hi, my name is Anna Gorka. I used to work for Page and Steel Plus Partners Architects, and when they built a spa for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, the land was bought fair and square. The parking lot was built underneath with private money, and things were done for a luxury cohort with luxury money. This, however, is being done without public consultation. It's being done with public tax dollars. I'd like to call on the Canada Green Building Council to review the Platinum LEED designation, because this project should have never gotten past site selection, which is the first chapter. Anyway, I think it's time for a federal impact assessment, and Ontario Place for All is petitioning that right now. So you can go to Ontario Place for All and sign that. We'll be having a petitioning day right here on Labor Day weekend. So if you're having a staycation, just join us. We're going to collect signatures. So we'll be at Sunnyside Beach on September 4th and right here on September 5th, just helping people get their word out. Thank you.
Excellent. Very, very well said. Public money for public project, private money for private leadership. It's pretty obvious. And the Green Council really makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, maybe you want to, you can show the jewelry around too, Anita, too, if you want to kind of walk around and show people. That's really amazing, making handmade jewelry. Excellent. No. Yeah, we have a little bit of commotion down there, so we're going to take like a 5-minute break, and then I'll be right back. I think we probably want to figure out what's going on down here.
You guys for Mersivity, I didn't say it correctly. I want you to continue. You have your time. Okay. I don't want to be in the way of that. Sure. We're just going to bring a conclusion to this, and that's it. All right. So, I mean, don't.
Is there a problem with the sauna? Like,
I can say my name. It's a tent that's not allowed on site. And it's a fire that's not allowed on site. I'm gonna have to write that down. So you guys to go for next week. Our rules are, well, in the FAQs on our website, both things are addressed. And on the signboard where it says no swimming, you'll notice underneath there's a sign now that says no tents, no fires.
Yeah. Now, one of the problems with these rules, like no swimming, is that, like, where does the border end? Because in principle, once you're in the lake, you're not on Ontario Place anymore, right? If I jump in the lake.
no longer on the Ontario Place property, right? There's no swimming on this beach. Steve, we've talked about this ad nauseum. And, you know, as I think Dawn has said to you in the past, look what they're doing for us. They've already, we've gone through this before. We're still swimming and we're not doing the free stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So I think you should just leave that one and, you know, continue on with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be in the way of what you're doing today.
Sure.
Okay?
All right.
Do we need a permit to put up a sauna, Steve?
I guess it's against. So of course, swimming is against the rules too. There's no swimming allowed.
What?
They put up,
hear what they're saying now.
there's a new sign underneath the no swimming sign.
that
It says,
new?
No tents, no fires.
No tents and no fire.
Yes.
What is no swimming?
Yeah. How about no?
We can't swim here?
We're not allowed to swim here, no.
What, is that a new sign?
No, it's been there for a while.
Oh yeah, but people ignore it, right?
We ignore it, yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah. What's on the thing? You're gonna probably issue this guy a ban.
Okay, we just take this one down. Go back to the But they love being at the park too, I guess. Oh, I get it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they don't like the tents. They put up a new sign that says they're not allowed to put tents up here and you're not allowed to have fire. So they don't seem to allow spa here. Which I don't know if is that a good thing.
Hello. Yeah. So
Hi.
taxpayer money here.
Because of the tents and the spa. We've got a sauna down there.
Taxpayer money.
And they don't like it.
Louder, louder, louder.
He said there was no swimming allowed here. He used to bother us.
Yeah,
He
it's
used to send
ridiculous.
security guards down and say, hey, no swimming. And so he said, well, where's the public
picture,
property?
yeah.
Where's the private property? You know, up to the high water mark in principle is public property. And so although this wants to be private property, it wants to be a private corporation. There's a move to privatize all the public space in our world and put rules on it, like no swimming, no having fun, no this, no that. They didn't want to allow me to bring my musical instrument here, the hydraulophone. And so I said, where is the rule prohibiting hydraulophones? Yeah, it's a physiotherapy device. It helps me with my fingers, you know, because I do a lot of typing reports on this physiotherapy device. It's a hydraulophone. It's an underwater pipe organ. And so I can show you this instrument. I'll plug it in. Callum, you want to grab me the battery? So this is a hydraulophone. Underwater pipe organ, underwater musical instrument. Hydraulophone.
I like
There's probably enough water in there.
Hey buddy, nice to see you.
Yeah.
See you soon.
I don't know if you all can hear that because it's not a loud instrument. Hydrolophones are only loud underwater. They're not loud when they're above the water, so I don't know if everybody can hear that. So maybe I'll have to put it through the PA just a little bit. Can everybody hear that? So hydrolophone is a word that I made up. It's a Greek word. It means the voice of water, hydrolophonos. Xylophone, for example, means the voice of wood, xylophonos. Xylo means wood and phonos means sound or voice. And so this is the voice of water. And welcome Ryan Jansen. Yes! Big round of applause for Ryan Jansen, my PhD student. He actually is the world's best hydrolophone player. He plays it better than me and better than anyone else on the planet. And he did his PhD thesis on hydrolophone. And while he was my student, he raised like $65 million and started a transit company, now raised $550 million, public transit company called Transpod. Let's all hear it for public transit. Who likes public transit here?
Yeah.
So he's got this miracle invention. It's a pipe that shoots people through really fast. So you'll be able to go from Toronto to Montreal in almost no time, almost instantly, in this pipe. And it's not a Hyperloop. Hyperloop is really expensive because you need a special track, whereas this thing it's completely, it doesn't need any, all the technology's in the pod. Hydrolophone. So there's 12 notes on here. I did play a simple children's song like Puff the Magic Dragon and then let Ryan take over. So Ryan, why don't you say a few words about Transpod public transit and play us a little bit on the hydrolophone.
Well, thanks, Steve. So my name is Ryan. So yeah, so I'm kind of a curious person because I love physics and I love public transit and I love water too. so actually. So I'll play a little bit in this in a moment, but Steve was mentioning about Transpod. So we're designing a high-speed transportation system. We've done an agreement with the Alberta government for high-speed transportation between Calgary and Edmonton. And that's on a Transpod line. That's what, so a Transpod line. It's basically, it's kind of like the Vancouver SkyTrain. It's up on an elevated guideway. And we have this special vehicle called a FlexJet that can carry passengers at over 1,000 kilometers per hour between cities on this Transpod line. And so it can carry passengers or cargo too, actually. So we were talking with FedEx and DHL, things like that. So the FlexJet is it's built like a plane without wings. So it's, I mean, kind of shaped like this hydrolophone, just more straight. And so you board it like a plane. It has rows of seats inside. And you're actually boarding almost like from a subway platform. So it's not like going to the airport where you have to buy a ticket, you have to book your ticket for that exact day and time. You just show up at the Transpod station, like a train station, at any time you want, and you just say, okay, I'm gonna buy my ticket, and you wait at the platform for the next Transpod vehicle to arrive. And so it's trying to be a very environmentally sustainable mode of transportation. It's fully electric, fossil fuel free. And we actually have some really fancy physics to make it work. We're using plasma with plasma power transmission, but as a passenger, you don't have to care about that. It's basically like boarding a plane, and you just go. And actually, when the way it is being designed to feel is you get in the seat, you sit down, and you know how when you're on a plane and it's about to take off on the runway, so you just feel a little bit pressed into your seat while it's accelerating, and then the plane takes off. So with Transpod, it's pretty much like that. You just pressed into your seat a little bit, and it just lasts a little longer because it's going up to actually a faster speed than a plane. But on a safe, elevated guideway that is environmentally sustainable and protected from storms. So instead of having flight diversions where you have to go to a different city, you might lose your luggage and so on, it's in a protected guideway, and it just takes you to, Calgary to Edmonton is the first one. We've been working with the Alberta government on that, but we're also getting into other discussions with in Europe, in the US, and in the Middle East for other lines. And the dream, of course, is to maybe have one from Toronto to Montreal, or even in the other direction too. So that's what Transpod is. So you can always look it up, and we're always looking for people to talk about this, people to bounce ideas around, because it's a very big project. Some people love the technology part, some people love the environmental sustainability part, and some people love just moving from A to B and really fast. So everybody has a different thing they like about that. And so that's Transpod, and we're also really looking for discussions with people in cities like Toronto to really push this kind of thing, and people out in the countryside too. We're trying to have a responsible impact on the landscape, to be able to have a light touch on the landscape. So this hydraulophone, it's another kind of, it's not a guideway, it's another pipe, and it's not quite as long, it's just this long. But so Steve and I were working on a whole bunch of these, and so with these things, it's a pipe that's full of other pipes, and all those other pipes are for each note. And you can get such a nice light touch, just the way that you rest your finger on that. And so I'm just gonna, I think probably Bruce, we'll welcome Bruce in a sec. I think he has to go very soon. So I'm just gonna play just a quick little demo. The best of this is when you can take your fingers and act like a spider, interweaving all of those different notes at the same time. So you can take different chords. So that's a hydraulophone, and yeah, so Steve Mann is the inventor of these things, and so he's been working on them and all those other inventions since a long time ago, and he's doing all kinds of great things. And so now he's brought his magic to Ontario Place and the beach. So I think you'll hear a bunch more from him. Perhaps I think Bruce is in a hurry, but he's actually it was really interesting talking with him as a big advocate for Ontario Place for All, and on the advocacy side and on the camp, he has so many interesting proposals for what's going on here. And maybe I should just introduce Bruce. That would, if you want to say a few words right now. Do you think that's good, Steve?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, Ryan. So we'll hear more from Ryan in a second shortly, like some more songs and stuff. But what we wanted to do is get Bruce up here, out of here, because he has to go soon. So, Bruce, give me your we love what you're doing, Bruce. It's just like, wow, it's really mind-blowing. So, and Ryan, thank you for that wonderful performance. Ryan is like a modern-day Leonardo da Vinci, kind of a modern-day polymath, sort of a genius scientist, artist, mathematician, scholar, engineer. And so, like he's one of those people, that very rare people who are sort of a modern-day polymath. And so it's really wonderful to hear that he understands all the Navier-Stokes equations and physics of underwater whistles and Kármán vortex shedding on bluff bodies, all the stuff that Kim Vandiver inspired me in my early days with all these studies of ocean currents going on cables under the water and trying to stop oscillation and stop them from vibrating. And of course, for me, I want everything to vibrate and oscillate. And Ryan and I are just having a field day doing all the things that engineers try to stop from happening. And sort of twisting and bending the rules of physics, I guess, in as much way as we can. So, without further ado, Bruce, say a few words.
I'll add to that Ryan is all around good guy, and I just want to point out that Laura is here, his partner is here as well, and she's a brilliant anthropologist as well, so it's quite a family. I'm dressed weirdly today because I thought I would need to be more formal. I was going to put on some nice dress pants and wear a jacket. I retired 4 years ago and nothing's fitting quite right, so I'm stuck with what I have on now. Hello, Anna. Hello, Margie. Margie Zeidler is here. Margie will be with us tomorrow in her space. We will be introducing the better idea. The better idea is an opportunity for all of us to come up with a way to show the forward government that there are other ideas that are way better than what he has in mind. But anyway, I want to give you some good news today. So first of all, of course, we are 1 day closer to the next election where we can get Ford out of office. Good news all around there. Many people, including the Premier, believe that changes to OP are a done deal and that nothing can stop it. Now, there's no reason to believe that. While we recognize that this is a severe uphill battle, there are benchmarks in any large contract that need to be met on an ongoing basis. If we can put roadblocks in the way, we may still change the trajectory of this project, perhaps taking us closer to the next election, or perhaps even eliminating the idea altogether. Perhaps this will see the demise of the Ford conservatives. And always remember the gas plant, so take heart, we got things we can do. We have a new mayor. The old one wouldn't have spent a penny of political capital in fighting the Premier to save OP. Instead, we have met with our new mayor, Ms. Chow, and thankfully Ms. Chow has expressed complete support for OP for all, Ontario Place for All, and against the mega spa. Fantastic. She will have leverage with Mr. Ford as the city has some acreage that the city owns and that the mega spa needs in order to build. Ford appointee to oversee the changes at OP was quoted as saying that the entire site needed to be raised of everything, all the architectural heritage, the trees, the plants, the legacy of the two wonderful designers that put this place together. He was going to raise it all. Since then, through our efforts, the heritage architecture, Cinesphere, and the pods has been saved. The wonderful, much-loved, much-used, and award-winning Trillium Park has been saved. Wider trails and other concessions have been secured, so the fight continues as it must, and that is good news. Many people have asked us, if the mega spa is so bad, have we got a better idea? Well, we do. And as a matter of fact, we'll be introducing that tomorrow evening. We'll be introducing what's called the Better Idea. Pretty simple title. The in-person event is sold out, but if you'd like to follow us, you can do so online. Just simply go to Ontario Place for All, exactly as it sounds, .com, and you'll be able to register there. And more good news. How about over $40,000 raised by donations from the public, which we can use to promote our efforts and possibly fund any lawsuits that we may bring against the government. We have over 20,000 letters signed and land-basing the government for their decision. We have dozens of dedicated, passionate volunteers who are ready and willing to fight this battle. So what's next? The most distressing immediate issue is the plans for the mega spa requires the removal of some 840 mature trees, all behind you. I was talking to Ryan when we were walking over here, and I thought, you know, what is it with wellness and health that we've strangled it with the idea that we have to spend money in order to achieve it? I tell you right now, if that sun comes out and you sit in that grove up there on those Muskoka chairs up there, you will have all the health and wellness you will ever need. The lake and the trees will give you everything you need. You don't need to spend money to achieve that. So tomorrow night we'll be introducing the better idea. And then more good news is, of course, the 20,000 letters that we've had signed lambasting the government for their decision. And we have all these brilliant volunteers that are helping us out. So what's next? Well, the most distressing idea thing that's coming up is the trees, the cutting down of the trees. We think that this is madness. Toronto plans to be net zero by 2040. This is their own transformed TL policy. They want to be net zero by 2040. But part of that is that they have to raise the canopy of the city to 40% from 25% as it is now. That 25% has actually gone down in the last few years. It's not going up, and they want to cut down 840 trees here. It's the wrong way to go. Removing the trees is moronic. The city must fight this foolishness, and we will help we're going to be launching our Adopt a Tree program in a little while. Keep your eyes open for that. That may take a bit of time, but we're going to launch the Adopt a Tree program, and everybody's going to have a chance to chain themselves to a tree. No, you can just adopt a tree, and we can use the opportunities from there to raise the profile of Ontario Place. So how can you help? Well, while we have had great support from provincial opposition, from Mike Schreiner and the GPO, and from the NDP, Merritt Stiles and her group, the federal and the provincial Liberals have been noticeably absent and lackluster in their efforts to defend the lakeshore from being privatized. The feds have jurisdiction in many areas, including the Migratory Birds Act, Department of Fisheries, Navigable Water, and so on. These are all federal areas of jurisdiction that we have asked the federal environment minister to intervene in time and time again. Crickets. I don't know why they are ignoring our appeals. So you can write, call, email, or protest at your Liberal riding office. You can go online at OPA, sign a letter, donate, spread the word. The lake and the mature forest at Ontario Place are all the ingredients for health and wellness that anyone could need. The hundreds of millions of dollars the Ford government wants to spend is wrong. Together we can make it right. Thank you.
All right, sure, why not? Yeah. Could you two come up together maybe, and you can say a few words and just.
Yeah, I'll take your hat.
Okay, by the way, the sauna is going to be here for about an hour. So if any of you want to have a sauna, so we'll have a few words. Maybe we'll have a little sauna break for those who want to. So, Bridget Hoff and Marty Zeidler are here, and this is a real honor because originally we were thinking, you know, maybe we could call this the Zeidler-Hoff University in celebration of what's already here. The idea of University of Ontario Place is to celebrate what's already here and to celebrate it as it is right now. It's really world class. We keep hearing this idea of a world class spa or this or that. We have a world class spa right here. What's here right now is world class. We've got a world class sauna here that you can enjoy, and we've got a world class 850 trees. We've got a world class lake. We've got a world class beach. This beach is the cleanest beach in all of Toronto. It's been here for 52 years and it's still standing. So let's have a big round of applause here.
Hello, I'm Bridget Huff. I'm Michael Huff's widow, but I was already his wife and the mother of his 3 children in the 1960s when Ontario Place was being designed. Eb Zeidler had decided to put his buildings in the middle of the lake, and somebody pointed out to him that they might be subject to a little weather. So the idea was spawned to build islands around them to protect them from the force of the lake. At that point, Michael was called in. Now, Michael became a well-known environmentalist in his later years, but this was one of his first big jobs. So his environmental ideas were sort of, in their infancy, let's say. But the program for the islands was that they should represent the ecology of Ontario. Well, there's several different ecologies in Ontario, as some of you may know. And so that was a little difficult, particularly because the available plant material in the 60s was not the way it is now. You couldn't go out and ask for, local plants. Nobody knew what you're talking about. However, he planted a big expanse up here of white pine, I think they were, because that's an Ontario tree. The province used to come along and mow the grass under it. Drove Michael crazy, because he wanted it to turn into a real Ontario forest, which it has done.
Here, here. Yes.
The first time they opened this area of the park to the public again, when Trillium Park opened, I came over here and I looked at that forest and I said, Michael would have loved this. Okay, now I'll talk quickly about the beach. When the beaches were designed, he didn't just design them because he was a landscape architect who thought he knew everything. He consulted experts in Lake Ontario's wave action, which is why there are armoured points and beaches, armoured points and beaches, because that's what the lake would naturally do, which is why the beach is still here.
Yes, hallelujah. Yeah.
And this is not in any way to denigrate the buildings, which are considered heritage. But let me remind you, this is actually a heritage landscape as well.
Yeah.
If anyone would like to talk to me privately, I'll be happy to do so, but I'm going to hand the mic over to somebody else.
Hold on, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget. That was really, really well said. Like that was just amazing. Very, very, very moving. Like this beach has had zero maintenance for 52 years, just sitting here, and it's still here. Michael Huff had the stroke of genius to design a pebble beach. Most people bring sand in, but this is a pebble beach. You pay good money to go to a pebble spa and walk barefoot in the pebbles. So I don't even know why I'm wearing shoes. I almost never wear shoes. I'm probably overdressed because I thought this was going to be at Transpod headquarters, so I dressed a little bit over. But yeah, take your shoes off and feel these pebbles. They're beautiful, Go running back and forth down the beach a few times in the pebbles. It'll strengthen all the muscles in your feet. Michael Huff was a true genius. Just look at the way they're stratified. You can choose what height. You can run down here on fine pebbles. You can run here on medium pebbles. You can run here on coarse pebbles. You can run on wet pebbles. Treat your feet to a spa, and it doesn't cost anything. There's so many places around the world where you pay money for the privilege of walking barefoot on pebbles. And Michael Huff came up with this idea. It's clean. You don't need a blanket. You just throw your clothes on the pebbles. There's no sand, no grit, no grime, no dirt. And because there's no grit or grime or dirt, the water is crystal clear. And so this beautiful crystal clear water allows you to make underwater music videos with the hydrolophone, or do underwater concerts, or do underwater fun, or just take some nice selfies underwater. If you check out our website, swimop.com, we call them swim ops. We do a swim op every day, kind of like a photo op, but OP stands for Ontario Place. And so can I get some of the speakers line up? So if you're speaking, please just line up here, down. Ryan, you could even come back and play another piece maybe, because I think Bruce, actually before you go, can we get a group shot of everyone? Why don't we get everybody down behind the hydrolophone and we'll get a group shot of everybody by the lake? Can we get everybody to line up behind this hydrolophone, stand in a row right behind this Nessie, in solidarity with these pebbles that Michael Huff so lovingly put here 52 years ago. love these pebbles and the beach. Bridget, Bridget and Margie, can I have you down here, or maybe right behind the hydrolophone? Bridget and Margie right behind the NASI. Oh yeah, beside it, next to it, yeah, that's perfect, okay. And then Perry, maybe I can grab your S22 for a second. And actually, if you want to get in the shot too.
The most important guy. No. Oh yeah, you.
We're live on YouTube as well here.
Hey, hello friends and relatives.
Beautiful.
Great, thank you.
Here I am.
So Ryan, why don't you play briefly another song, then we'll have a sauna break. And although there's other speakers, Chloe's speaking at 1, right? Chloe Brown, I think, is coming in at 1. Oh, the result was islands and planting, which looked as if God had been the landscape genius. Zeidler, 1977. Wow, that's fantastic.
Michael Huff.
Yeah, about Michael Huff. This was a tribute to Michael Huff. This is fantastic. This is, he was an absolute genius. Michael Huff was an absolute genius. Like, this beach is an absolute magical piece of art. I would venture to say that this beach is the greatest work of art ever. Probably the greatest piece of art that humanity ever made was this beach. You know, compared to other things like all these sculptures and galleries and everything, this is a piece of art that you can experience and explore, and it nourishes the heart and soul, and it connects us with nature. It's true Mersivity at its finest. Oh yeah, did you want to say? Oh, that's great. Yeah, watermelon, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's perfect. So Ryan, maybe play a little bit on the hydrolophone and we'll have a quick sauna break. And then Chloe Brown. Is there anyone else who wants to speak, who wants to say something? Yeah, come on up, read. I think Mike wrote a poem here about Mersivity, and we definitely want to hear that. He's going to read an original poem. Originally, a poem was sent to me written by somebody who had died, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we had a poem by somebody who was still alive so that they could actually read the poem they wrote? And then this idea was born, and now we've got Mike here.
Take it away.
I will. Okay, without further ado. As water unimpeded fights its way in the eternal recurrent of the same, we're brought here by Steve Mann today, a phenomenological amplification fame, all but a ball of Mersivity rolled into a man who brings the outer limits of inquiry a little closer to reach as sensory and meta frequencies swim into pure reality, guided by meta-veilogrammetry, giving the real-time signal flow a star pathfinding algorithm in the city of towards the city of David at this pebble beach. Time, says Thomas Mann, is water from the river Lethe, a place where the dead forget their archives, much like Infrastructure Ontario's galling recursivity, applying all function ever fearward as debt begets their sharp knives. This is quoting them jokingly. When health itself becomes the soft cell of just-in-time inventory, making it our place to grow, a scofflaw's vomitory, due to unforeseen reasons, why, it's come quick then, come immediate to our spa for all seasons. Their debates untraced with Janet Gates, their carbon offsetting pressed into immediate release, who will look to see submersively what lies bequeath Ontario Place as the river of indebting. With a wavelet transform then of a pre-programmed palm, a man of Mersivity ethically aligns and designs sense effectors and sense activators atop a paddleboard to water test this underworld for evidence of this well-being, also advertised as togetherness. Those are quotes from the Therme website. though styled locally the cesspit of a thermalstrom, leashed and released to fjord to the 40-part diem of the gentleman's agreement forgetfulness affords. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic. Now, for us, we almost have this sort of ritual of partaking in some watermelon. I'm just going to rinse my knife off in this beautiful clean lake water, the cleanest water in all of Toronto. And it's all about fresh access. Take a look at this water. You can see pebbles through there. You know, it's just really amazing to walk barefoot on the pebbles and the wet pebbles and into the water. You know, year round, we run barefoot into the snow in the winter in my swim shorts, you know, all of us, bunch of us. And it's just so beautiful being here year round. This is a year-round spa. This is not just a summer beach. This is a year-round place, and the pebbles make it friendly to access it in the winter time. We have here a watermelon, if anybody wants a slice of watermelon. And then we'll have a brief sauna break. And Ryan, if you want to tickle the water jets while we partake in some watermelon. Beautiful. So we've got here some fun things. I've got a Mersivity ball too, if anyone wants a ride in the ball. The ball is this beautiful, yes, all right. All right. It's a beautiful example. It's a beautiful example of kind of this experience or this fun state of being, or fun experience. It's kind of like a unit sphere that defines inside and outside. So the environment and the environment. The environment is what surrounds us, and the environment is yourself. And the environment is the boundary between us and our surroundings. I'm a vironmentalist, meaning that I care about shoes, clothing, eyeglasses, VR headsets, vehicles, vessels, all these things that are technologies that define an interior and an exterior, more or less. You know, a paddleboard is not a vessel, although legally it's defined as a vessel so that you have to carry a life jacket and a whistle, but it's not mathematically a vessel, it doesn't enclose you, but it's still in that spirit. The world's first cyborgs, you know, Manfred Klein's coined the term cyborg, cybernetic organism, as a person riding a bicycle being his favorite example, and bicycles are like 50, 100, 200 years old. But I would argue that the world's first cyborgs are people in vessels. And vessels are the world's first cyborg technology. And so that's more than 1 million years ago, before the invention of the wheel, before the invention of clothing, before Homo sapiens. The oldest is a vessel. So a cyborg is vessel. And what better example of a vessel than a unit sphere that's exactly 1 meter radius, 2 meters in diameter. So we'll sort of talk about that a little bit. But anyway, let's have a slice of watermelon and enjoy the sauna before the wood burns out. Okay, so
Hand it out, yeah.
I've washed my hands and the knife and everything, so I think it's all clean. Yeah, hand it out.
You want to hand it out, Francois?
Yeah, maybe not so big a piece. So we have.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we have enough to hand. Yeah, actually, let's get a watermelon group shot. We'll get everybody holding up the watermelon and get a group shot of it.
Say it on the mic.
Yeah. Let's get a watermelon selfie. We'll get a watermelon group shot. Everybody lined up here with a slice of watermelon behind the Nessie. That's almost another tradition you'll see on Swim Off. We often have everybody holding up a slice of watermelon.
Save your watermelons. We're going to do a group shot with the watermelon.
Save the slice for a group shot.
Remind people to save them.
Save them for the shop.
Yeah, save them for a group picture. Line up right behind the Nessie. Yeah, line up just like we were before, right behind Nessie. We call her Nessie, like she's like the Loch Ness Monster, you know, the Nessie hydrolophone.
Yeah, Steve, I'll give it out.
Yeah.
Keep cutting.
Yeah, and then get everybody, once you've got your slice, line up behind Nessie there.
Thank you very much.
I know it's a little crappy cutting, but... There's enough here. Does everybody have a slice?
I think Ryan needs one. Anybody else?
We need a few more.
And hopefully we'll have...
Brian doesn't have any.
Okay, there's one for Ryan.
Jim, put them aside.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, we need about 3 more.
3 more, okay. I think we can do that.
The swim fish girls don't have any.
Oh yeah.
Go and give them to them.
Yeah, one more. Kind of.
And then Mike needs one, and you and me, Steve.
I can go last if you just don't have to go around. Thank you.
Oh, 3 more for us.
3 more, okay. It's kind of getting funny, getting weird here.
Cut it in half, Steve.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all that's left.
How do I, well, there's a big piece in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, I
Can we have that?
Yeah, we can split that in half. Cut that in half. Half for you, half for me.
Mmm.
Okay, so how's that?
That's great.
Now I grab your S22 maybe and I'll try and do a selfie.
It's in here.
Okay. Okay, so now let's see if we can get lined up in a straight line.
Straight line? You do a straight line? Yeah. Closer together. Shoulder to shoulder.
Charlotte, you guys want to come down here?
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm thinking, ready to water. I don't know why. I hold them.
Her and Ann were behind the police.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a very ideal group position.
What do we got?
Oh, right here.
Yeah, Steve. Mark down here. Mark, my name. MIT alum.
Oh, yeah. I met you here this week.
Oh, that's
No,
great.
fun with Trevor and Keith's birthday.
Peter, you want to say a few words? You want to say a few words?
Man, that sound, man, it's like resonating in my soul.
I forgot to do this one.
On the other side.
The other side, yeah.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come up and play on the hydraulophone, feel free to try to touch the voice of water. Lay your fingers upon the water. Hydraulophone is a Greek word that means voice of water. Touch your fingers to the water and feel it.
Welcome back.
Oh, Patrick! Oh! I'm good. How are you?
So we'll take a short lunch break now. And Chloe Brown, come back 1 o'clock for Chloe Brown, 1 p.m.
Can I stand this up and leave it, like just pointing at the beach?
Well, we could stop and restart and do another afternoon session.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll take a soft stick and go inside.
Oh, yeah.
Sauna would be too hot. Fry.
It'd be too hot to get
Absolutely.
So we're going to be back after the break?
Yeah, we're going to be back after the break with Chloe Brown at 1 o'clock.